Well, the Houston project part 3 is off to an inauspicious start. Got up before the sun, woke up the roosters to wake up the farmers, drove out here with the wife so she can take the car home, only to find somebody has locked the hangar door. The guy that sold the airplane for some reason wouldn't give me the hangar key, so I've been just leaving the door unlocked. And yesterday, the airport people came through deciding to inspect fire extinguishers, which is just fine, but found the door locked or unlocked and decided that it needed to be locked. Even after I spent half an hour talking to the guy 2 days ago, telling him exactly what was happening with this airplane. So quite a bit of frustration right now. It's going to take him another 45 minutes to get here to open the door for us. And, well, damn it. And just an hour later, we're finally ready to go. Hangar door's coming down. Wife will be leaving soon, and I'll be right behind her. I'm really tightly packed here. I've got it full up in the back. I'm coming back via airline, so I got a travel bag there, and food supplies, ink, paper, camera. Yeah, we're ready to go. Ready as we're ever going to be.
Okay, here we are into the runway. Houston Project Part 3, fly to Houston. Probably won't get all that far. Get to northern Texas before the weather gets kind of crappy. Houston has had the same thunderstorm sitting on top of it for a solid week. But if I can get down to Marshall, I have a place to stay. I have a friend there who owns an Army 12. Either stay with him or he can get me to a motel, one way or the other. And then I'm only an hour and a half from where I'm headed down around Houston, and can just make that whenever an opportunity arises. So oil's just about warmed up. I'm an hour later than I wanted to get started because the hangar door, which had been successfully remained unlocked for the entire 2 weeks I worked on this thing, got locked last night. They went in and did a fire extinguisher inspection and found the door unlocked and thought, gee, we ought to do something about that. So I showed up out here, dark early, ready to go, only to have an hour-long wait. So waiting for somebody to come out and unlock the hangar for me. And I've got to admit, he got a little bit of a chilly reception. He's the guy that locked it. So anyway, we're ready to go. It's severe clear all the way down to northern Texas. Our first stop is, of course, somewhere in Kentucky. Hotel Papa November, I believe, is the identifier. And that is a couple hours away. But no big deal. We got about 8 hours of flying to do today if we get all the way down to Houston. If not, it's about 6.5 hours of flying. So, again, I won't be able to use the suction cup mount. It vibrates too much. The audio is probably terrible because his radio headset jacks haven't been updated like mine. And I'm hand-holding the camera, so there's not going to be any of the over-shoulder takeoffs and landings, just whatever I can take a picture of along the way and make just kind of a little travel log. So I'm going to do the run-up. I've got the oil temp. Everything's ready to go. I'm ready to take off, so I'll talk to you once we're near. Oh, it was an uneventful takeoff, and you can see the weather is absolutely spectacular. I'm on the autopilot already. I'm using the simplified autopilot because he doesn't have the buttons that make the advanced autopilot much easier to use. His airplane actually needs a lot more right rudder than mine also, so I'm probably going to be fighting that for 8 hours. Anyway, I have it on HSI and altitude, which is basically nav, and just dial in altitude and it'll go immediately as opposed to the delay you get with the advanced autopilot. So much easier to use that, the simplified controls. Climbing out at 500 foot, well actually 700 foot per minute, which is pretty generous. We're going to have a headwind most of the way, but not a brutal one. It should be smooth, at least in the morning. I don't know what it's going to be like when we get down to Kentucky, Tennessee, and all that, but right now it's just a gorgeous morning to fly, as you can see. So I don't need quite that much vertical speed. I'm going to crank that down a little bit. We're not in any hurry. Let's take that back down to, about 400 foot per minute. I mean, it's so flat out here, we'll just do a nice cruise climb. There's no real reason to be, however that got to 750 foot per minute. All right, so, well, this is the beginning of a long day, and I hope it all goes well. I actually knew this, but I had forgotten it. Because I don't have the buttons, I also don't have auto trim, so I'm going to be doing a whole lot of that. Nose down trim, up nose. It's not really an autopilot without the auto trim, but we don't have it. So the autopilot is not going to be quite as helpful if we get into a lot of vertical, ups and downs, convective weather. It's going to be a little more work, but still easier than hand flying. And it'll do fine on the nav course. It'll stay on nav very closely, which is good because I'm flying these things out. I don't really want to talk to Cincinnati Class B, so I take a very little minor detour that puts me right up against the edge of the Class B. And you want to be right on your course if you're going to go that close to controlled airspace. So I'll let the autopilot do the nav, but altitude's going to take a little bit of work on my part. We can already see that I'm going to have some headwind action going on here. I've got a true airspeed of 100. I'm losing 10 knots already of ground speed, which is why I didn't plan 3 to 3.5 hour legs. That would be right on the reserves. I planned 2 to 2.5 hour legs. So even with a healthy headwind, I'm going to have plenty of gas for each leg. And, you know, frankly, you need a break every couple 2.5 hours in a plane this small anyway. Now waiting for the airport guy to come out and unlock the hangar, I got a lot of pacing done, so my legs are settled right now. Later in the day, I get happy feet. You know, I just really need to get out and take a walk. So if I'm only ever 2 hours away from being able to take a walk or use a real bathroom, you know, that's not bad. And there's realistically no big hurry. I've got all day to get there. I don't work anymore. I've got tomorrow, I've got the next day, so no big giant hurry to get there. It's just, I don't know, just a little frustration. You know, the funny thing is, I opened that hangar door a couple days ago. I said, what am I going to do if I come out here in 2 days and somebody has locked it? I mean, it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you can actually drop the almost. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. I brought it on myself. I own it. So it's nice and smooth down here at 35. I'll stay down here as long as I can. The higher I go, the more wind I'm going to get. The further I go, I might start seeing ceilings of 4,000 or 5,000 feet, and I'm going to want to be under them anyway. So since it's nice and smooth and cool, I'm just going to stay down here where I am. I may go the whole way down, you know, 4,500 feet. I may go the whole way. We'll see. Well, the GoPro is acting up already. I probably lost my takeoff or my after takeoff chat about how nice the weather is, blah blah blah. Just wanted to show you what I've done with my ForeFlight. I've replaced the little airplane with a B-2 bomber.
3008. You're still.
And it just quit again. I just don't know what's going on with this thing. I think it's the power cord, but I bought a brand new power cord. I think. Yeah, this is my brand new one. So I don't know what's going on with this thing. It's just nothing but frustration. Oh, the problem with the GoPro this time is a brand new power cord that I bought, which is already broken. I don't know if it arrived that way. It's just got a, just where the cord runs into this little box, it's broken open. I can see bare wires, and if the least bit bump, it just shuts the camera off. So I got it working. I have the cable wrapped around the little post I'm using to hold the GoPro, and hopefully that'll keep it immobile long enough that I can keep it working.
41 Echo Echo, your radar contact 2 miles southeast of Dark County. You're clear to 1 India 9 Airport.
So here's what's happening so far, for as long as I can keep the thing running. I'm listening to this guy trying to pick up flight following and doing a very poor job of it. Anyway, it's always something. There it goes. Well, I'm well supplied for the day. Protein, and even better protein, and water, and fruit juice with caffeine in it in case I get a little sleepy. Kleenex because I've had a bit of a runny nose with my allergies. What else have I got in here? I got some piddle packs in here somewhere in case I need to use the bathroom. I've got one with me, although I got a little rebellious during my hour-long wait for the airport guy to come out, and I just, I kind of reset the urine meter against the side of the hangar. Confession time. That's Dayton off into the distance. That's first flight, so FFO, that's, I guess that's Wright-Patterson or something. That can't be right, FFO, that doesn't make any sense. What am I saying? What airport is that? Yeah, I don't know, I think it's Wright-Patterson. I usually don't come at it from this side. Well, that could be Springfield. No, I'm past Springfield. Let's go on over here and see what it is, just so we know. Oh yeah, I do believe that is, let's see, let's get on top of that. That is Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so Wright-Patterson off the side there. So we're passing the Dayton area on our way to the Cincinnati area on our way to the rest of the country. Well, off to the side, that open area, which you may or may not be able to see, is where the Air Force Museum is. One of my favorite places to go. It's about an hour or 10 minutes from my house. I go there a lot. So that's the Dayton, and that over there, that little, tiny little downtown is Dayton, which is not a very big downtown at all. So we're still in Ohio, just cruising along. It's been a long day of just cruising along. I should have brought a book to read. I am starting to wish that I had taken the time to tune the autopilot. I doubt if it's ever been tuned. It's probably default settings, and it's kind of abrupt.
5238, Columbus departure radar contact. I'm going to maintain 10,000, 10,000.
All right. Yeah, so if it needs to make a minor correction, it's kind of a big bump. It just kind of doesn't really ease into a turn. It just leaps into it. So it's a little bit rough. Well, I mean, the air is smooth, but the autopilot's just, I'm not sure. It needs tuning, but I'm not going to mess with it now, of course. And It's not my airplane, so it is what it is. I hate these damn stadium TFRs. They're live every single day, whether they got something going on or not. And they're reported in 3000 AGL. Well, that doesn't help me a damn bit. I need MSL because I'm flying over it. And so it's probably 4,000 something. I'm just going to go around it. They're just like people leave off the road at flight level 220, LS 297. Frustrating. Because I'll probably forget. I considered using flight following, but I'm afraid I won't respond to 160 Juliet Golf. It just won't trigger for me because it's not my tail number. So I've got it there to remind me in case I do have to talk to somebody. But so I went ahead and climbed up to 4,500. It's nice up here too. Made a little bit of a difference on the wind.
Experimental 742 Delta Tango.
Slowed me down a little bit.
42 Delta Tango, Columbus.
But I'll go right on over that now. I'm just going to fly right on over the top of it.
Airborne, Air Park.
There's a nice big lake. Not really sure what it is. I'm pretty much north, I guess we're northwest of Cincinnati. I can zoom out and find out where the city is. Well, the airport's not where the city is. The airport's down in Kentucky. The city will be up around here somewhere. And we're up around here somewhere. Okay, so that's Miami, Oxford. That could be Houston Woods, but I think Houston Woods is actually behind us. Anyway, nice big lake. Have to look and see what that is someday. Well, there's the only cloud in Ohio. Parked right down over that little river. That's the only cloud I've seen since we left. Good thing we're not going there.
Delta 50.
I got about 14 minutes left on the first leg, and that's going to work out well for bladder capacity, et cetera, et cetera. Off the wing here is French Lick. I used to fly out here when I had the RV6. It took a lot less than the 96 minutes I've been flying now. It's a nice place to visit. They've got a very nice airport, and they'll drive you into the town where they have two really old hotels that were built in the 19-teens. I guess people came down from Chicago to gamble or whatever. I don't know. And those have fallen into disrepair, but they've been fully restored now, and they're actually quite interesting. And I've been out here 2 or 3 times, and I stopped coming when I got a slower airplane, but it's actually a nice little place to visit. I probably ought to stop by again sometime, but sometime that's not today. So 13 minutes until our first landing and refuel and defuel, depending on which tank we're talking about, the bio tank or the fuel tank. I had to go to my backup headsets. I had spare batteries for my A&R headsets, but in the flurry of activity this morning, which I tried not to be rushed, but I ended up missing, grabbing the spare batteries out of the bag they were in and putting the bag I ended up bringing with me. So I'm using my backup headsets, which work just fine. They just don't deaden the noise as much as noise reduction headsets do, so it's a little more of a kind of a low pitched thrum that I have to live with now. Hopefully there's somebody at this little airport. I think it might be unattended. It says unattended on weekends. I don't know if there'll be anybody there today. It's not a weekend, it's Thursday. But maybe they'll have a pair of AA batteries they can give me. We'll see. So in any event, everything's going great. We've been flying for 98 minutes. We're about ready for our first stop. The second leg is a little bit longer. It's about 2.5 hours, so it's going to be a little bit longer trip. And then the third leg is relatively short, so we won't be quite a third of the way there, but we have made some pretty good mileage. One thing I do remember about French Lick is there were a lot of boats around and boat stores, and I thought, wow, there must be a lake nearby, and well, it looks like there is, and it's a pretty good sized lake. So we're within 10 miles of our first stop, which is Huntingburg, Indiana, Huntingburg. We're heading almost due west, with maybe 20 degrees to the south of west. Runways are 9 and 27. The wind is out of the south, so it's out of the south of 5 knots, so it's my runway choice. And it looks like what's going to be easiest is just to enter a left downwind for runway 9er and circle back towards the north, well, towards the east. We're actually doing east-west right now. We haven't done the north-south part yet. So in about 8 minutes, I'm going to enter the left traffic runway 9er at Huntingburg, Indiana. I think I'll make a restroom break the first thing to do, and gasoline the second thing to do. And there you can see how well that midfield left downwind entry to runway 9er is going to work. I'm even on almost a 45-degree angle for it. So I'd like to say I planned it this way, but that's just blind luck. We're 9 miles out, well 8.7 miles out. I've got the airport in sight because it's just a crystal clear day. This is the last you'll hear from me until I'm on the ground. I'm just going to go ahead. Hopefully it's just a routine landing. So I kind of lied. There's a closer look at the airport. We're still 2.5 miles out, just getting ready to enter the left down for Niner. And that's it. Not a soul here. Nice quiet airport. My favorite kind of crowd is none. And here we go. There's the gas pump, and there's the airplane parked right in front of the gas pump. Just sitting there. I don't know why people do that. Well, I managed to get it gassed up. Somebody moved that airplane for me. Actually, gas was the second thing I bought. The first thing I did was go down there to the building down there where the bathroom is. That was the most critical thing. And wow, what a friendly reception. I mean, this is an amazing place. I walked through the door, the guy that runs the place was right there, big handshake and an introduction, and very, very friendly. I was actually able to score a couple AA batteries, so I could go back to my A&R headsets, which is wonderful. Guy just handed me a couple AA batteries. There was last two, but just very, very friendly. So you'll be getting a good review from me once I get to a computer. There's going to be a very, very nice review of this place. It's just a great little airport. What a great place to stop. It couldn't have been any better. So we're going to taxi all the way down the end of the long runway and head. We'll start heading south from here.
that's all Port of Houston. Well, ship channel goes all the way up, but
This is how I'll end